Hey everybody! Welcome to another Learning Sunday, where every Sunday we learn something together. I asked you on Twitter what you want to learn, pulled it out, and that sounds weird. I made a poll of the top 4 things that I saw, and you guys voted on a basic cooking lesson. Now I know that's because you guys wanted me to fail at cooking something, but we are learning, gosh darn it! So I'm just gonna give you 10 basic cooking tips for beginners. So yeah, let's get into it, shall we? Let's learn together. Alright, so tip number 1, read through the recipe several times before you start. So obviously you need to read the recipe so you know what you're doing, what you're making, what you need, pans you need, the food you need, the tools you need, how much time you have. It's basically you need to plan it out. Obviously, you read through it. That's kind of a thing, because there's been a lot of times where I skim through the directions and I'm like, okay, yeah. And then I look at the ingredients and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go get those. And then in the middle of making something and I'm like, oh crap, I don't have this pan, or this is supposed to sit for 2 hours before I do something else. And it always becomes like a fluffle. So read through everything to make sure you understand the directions, have the tools, have the food, have enough time, and know how to perform everything. Because sometimes they ask you to do things and you're like, I don't know what that is. I didn't know what sifting was for a really long time. Tip number 2, prep all your stuff before you even start the cooking process. You know how in cooking shows, I was always like, cooking shows make this seem really freaking easy, and then I do it myself, and I'm like, everything's a mess, and there's flour everywhere, and this recipe didn't even call for flour, and there's knives in the floor, and what's going on? 3 reasons why they make it look so easy. 1, they're professionals, so duh. 2, they have a team helping them. You don't have a team in your kitchen, it's just little you, or maybe you have a buddy, I don't know your life. But 3, they prep everything beforehand. So they already have their measurements of everything laid out, and everything's cut and diced and doing its thing already before they even begin the cooking. So make sure your oven's preheated, make sure all your measurements are out, make sure everything's cut, diced, frozen, cooled, room temperature. I don't know what your recipe calls for, but it's so much easier if you prep everything beforehand. Also, if you're marinating meat, make sure that's marinating before you start cooking, because marinade has to take a second, take a minute, take an hour to soak in. Does that make sense though? Prep all your things. Tip 3, make sure everything is greased up. If you don't want stuff sticking to your frying pan, make sure it has grease on it, butter, oil, Pam. That makes stuff not stick. Make sure your pan is hot before you add oil to it, and then make sure your oil's hot before you add the food to it. And that's how you saute. Tip number 4, clean up as you go. Now this sounds like something your grandma would tell you, because that's what my grandma told me, and she was right. Clean up as you go, and it's not as stressful, because if you have a dirty freaking kitchen, you're gonna get more and more stressed. And maybe you guys don't get stressed when cooking. Maybe you don't mind a mess. I do. When there's 6 different knives that are dirty and laying about, things get a little dangerous, which is tip number 5, be safe. There's so much stuff. Don't put your hand in boiling water. Don't touch a hot pan. If you're cooking in the same kitchen as someone else and you're dealing with something really hot, you should let them know, hey, this is hot, or I'm behind you with something hot, or don't touch that, it's hot. Treat everyone as a child. Child walks in the kitchen, you go, don't touch the oven, it's hot. There's knife safety. There's so much stuff that can go wrong. You can cut a finger off, you can burn a finger off, all these things. If you're working with citrus, make sure you don't get it in your eyeballs or anything spicy. Oh, the biggest safety tip, guys, if you're cutting up jalapenos and you touch the jalapeno, do not put your finger in your eyeball. I'm intense about that one. Tip number 6, make sure you're measuring things correctly. There's a liquid measuring cup thingamabob. Use this for your liquids. It's nice to get one that you can see the measurements from above, like there's readings inside of it. And then these are for your flours, your sugars, those things. So these are measuring cups. This is a measuring cup, but for liquid, not liquid. Liquid, not liquid. There's teaspoons and tablespoons. Tablespoons will have the B in it. Teaspoons doesn't have the B in it. And that's how you know the difference between them. So make sure if it calls for 1 teaspoon of something, you don't put 1 tablespoon of it in, because that would mess it up. And then if you're cutting a recipe in half or something, make sure that before you start, you see you're like, oh, I'm only making half of this. Make sure you cut those measurements in half. And you might have to use a little math, but the internet's there to help. Number 7, taste things as you go. Cooking is an art. Baking is a science. So baking, you usually stick to exactly what they say. You can add a little more chocolate if you want. But baking is usually much you stick to exactly what it says, because it's more of a science. Cooking is an art, which is kind of why I suck at it, because I like to stick to recipes exactly, even if my thing doesn't taste good, I'm like, but I stuck to the recipe. So taste it. If it needs more salt, add more salt. Even if the recipe said only a tablespoon and you're like, still not salty enough, add more salt. All right, the last 3 ones are random. Those ones are like prepping you, mentally preparing you to cook. The last 3 tips are just random things that I've learned that I thought are helpful. So I'm just giving you these random tips. If you're gonna try and get the juice out of an orange, a lemon, or a lime, roll it before you cut it. Does that make sense? You need to roll it, press down, roll a little bit, and it'll like break up things inside and do science. And then when you cut it open, it makes it juicier. Separating an egg. So some recipes might call for just egg whites or just yolk. And you're like, how do you do it? I don't know that. So what you do is you crack open the egg and then you pass the yolk back and forth. So if you want the egg whites, you pass the yolk back and forth, and then you let the egg whites drop into the bowl below you. If you want just the yolk, you do the same thing, but at the end, instead of using the egg whites, you use the yolk inside the shell. And then this last one is how to crush garlic with a knife. So you have this clove of garlic thingy. Get a clove out, and then there's skin on that clove. So you have to peel the clove. The best way to do it is to smash the knife against it, and then it kind of breaks away the skin on the garlic clove. So you just peel the skin off, and you're like, oh, this little garlic clove. And then what you do is you chop that finely. You use the back of the knife to do that. If for some reason it's easier, that's what I read. So you have all these little choppy chops. They're like, chopped, I'm chopped. If you add a little sea salt to it and you just scrape down the knife like this, and that will eventually get your garlic into a paste that you need. That's crushing garlic. That's mushing it. That's getting it into a paste. All right, guys, those are my 10 tips for beginner cooks. I know I didn't cook anything today, but that's because it wasn't a specific cooking video. If there's stuff you guys want me to cook and you guys want to learn how to cook, please tweet me, please comment below, please Instagram me things that you want to learn how to cook or bake, and I will learn how to do it and I will teach you guys. Some people are naturally gifted with cooking. It's like their palate is ridiculous. They can go in and just create whatever without learning anything. Some people like me, takes a little learning. So you're not alone if you can't cook. I'm there with you. I hope this was helpful though. If it was, please give this video a thumbs up. I love you guys. Please subscribe to see videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday on this channel. Every Sunday we learn something. If you want to learn something, let me know. But remember guys, above all else, stay awesome possums.